legitimately like the Supernova draft. I feel like this is a very nice, well-balanced draft. They have ways to fight. Every single hero has some degree of disable. They have strong laning prowess. The only part of their draft that's a little bit weak is their siege potential is fairly lackluster, but outside of that, their ability to skirmish and fight throughout the map feels so good to Game 2 versus Game 1.
Yeah, they've got a lot of heroes that will be able to move across the map. They've got ways of playing into it. They can take Roche. I do agree with you. Their tower taking ability is a little stinky, but if you're able to win your lanes and play fast, then it should be able to alleviate a bit of that pressure. And to be fair, the last arc only really have a Juggernaut, which is a hero that likes to hit towers. So we'll have to wait and see what the early game does look like. The thing is, for me, that usually leans me towards the last arc in a lot of these games is they are just, I think, a little bit cleaner in their lanes for the most part. I think Echo really does a really good job at owning that mid lane. He is playing into a Ember Spirit. I think a lot of the Spirit matchups are very player dependent, so we'll have to see who comes out on top of that. And they're playing into Mag, which is always annoying, having that repositioning spell of the skewer, especially when you're trying to take some towers.
Yeah. We have seen some Magnuses, though, struggle with certain heroes to deal with in the 4 position. In particular, those heroes being Rubik and Shadow Demon. Rubik way worse, but Shadow Demon can still prove to be fairly problematic. We'll see how things go, though, as Game 2 does kick off. The horn is sounded, 2 for 2 bounty runes. As you said, middle, should anticipate this being a player specific, but even with the changes to Void Spirit, I don't think Han can defeat the Void that hard to make this matchup look incredibly favorable. He'll do fine, but it'll just be fine. He'll still need to make positive moves around the map.
Or bottom. Why?
Actually, almost have a... Yeah, he is indeed. Sheep is almost about to take a tumble here, but he doesn't actually end up dead. Shen and Sheep can get a kill. Why? Losing his life early on. This is pretty big stuff, man. And it's not like this is a fun lane to play into. Even Juggernaut, outside of Spin, do you ever want to approach Tidehunter Shadow Demon here?
Nah. As long as Spin is on cooldown, Erica is going to be having a rough time, especially with the Gush spam, which is very hard for him to deal with. A lot of the Shadow Poison spam is going to be very hard. So this bottom lane could be a point of difference between both these two teams where Supernova are able to abuse their strong 3-4 combination, and especially with the windows that are going to open up in these early couple of levels. But it looks like top lane is probably not going as well as they had hoped. Shining's doing a really good job here with normal and to just put a lot of pressure onto Dong, who I feel like he is going to be the shining star, and I think that's a tale that we're seeing with a lot of these Div 2 teams is they have their one player that really makes a lot of stuff happen for them, and if they have a good game or if they have a lot of impact, then they're generally more likely to win. You know, Ancient Tribe really comes to mind from Western Europe in Mobe.
Now, even Lost Ark, although if you look at the team sheet, one might be tempted to imagine that Erica is the shining star. Most of the game has been Echo from the mid lane that's been creating the parameters of their success. In the top lane, we almost lost Dong, but unfortunately for normal end, he was too close to the Mirana, so it does not connect with the concussive shot. Do you think they should change the spell, actually, to make it hero targetable?
I don't know. Would that make it too good? Because I think it's insane the way it is right now. I think it's an insane spell. So I think if you were able to like target it, it would just make it even better. It does mean that like it doesn't work with Phylactery as much, which I think would be kind of broken if Skymage had 3 spells that procced his Phylactery. But I would say no purely out of I'm a boomer and it's been the same way for a long time.
We don't want these changes. Keep it the same.
Yeah. And plus, I don't want to see Skymage even more stronger than what he already is. I think if you just like
That's true.
max concussive shot and you're able to get Phylactery with a concussive shot, like you would kill literally everybody at like level 6. And I think that'd be a little too broken.
Down bottom, we see this Juggernaut. Given that he is playing a game with a Magnus on his lineup, are we going to see him going for the Battle Fury? Because sometimes that would be the thing we see, right? That when you have Mag and Jug, you skip Battle Fury, go straight for like some fighting item, and get your cleave from the mag instead, who just got a skewer underneath the tower of Dong. Sadly though, there was a creep wave tanking up a lot of the damage. However, Normal End throws in a blood grenade, and they do find the kill. Excellent stuff coming in from Last Dark here on the top side of the map.
Yep, big kill, getting the kill there onto Dong. And kind of circling back to your answer, I think the Juggernauts that I've seen go Battle Fury, I haven't really felt their presence, and they've kind of just been this, I need to wait until I have 7 items Juggernaut. I would like to see something different out of Erica. I mean, this might sound a little weird to some of the carry players, but heck, just go like Harpoon. Just like, I don't know, play this like kind of I'm a universal hero, but I'm also an agi hero kind of style, and just try and play really fast. I'm not sure if I'm super sold on Maelstrom to be the item that you want to try and go for. I would love to see a super early fighting item though.
One of my homies, well, we're gonna see the Jug fighting a little bit bottom here. Why? About to die to Shin. And the TP out from Sheep enables them to just escape with the Shadow Demon. No revenge to be picked up by Erica. Some Jug players that I know have been trying to convince me to play this hero. Apparently, going like 3rd item Nully is very good after Manta, and the 1st item doesn't matter as much. So, as long as he has Manta Nully, I think I'll be happy for this game overall.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. But it is, Jug is one of those heroes that kind of has like a weird first item. It's like, what do you really build that feels like it gives you the most impact? I don't think it really matters what he goes for this time around. I think Battle Fury is probably the safest route, just because you're not forcing your Magnus to follow you around all the time.
Mid lane, going to be having a little bit of a skirmish happen. They missed the combo.
Ooh.
Oh, big mistake coming in from Shola on that one. That means that Echoes does end up staying alive. And the messed up part about it is he was about to throw it immediately, but he stutter stepped. He thought he was too soon, but he was right on time the first time.
He also missed a point blank arrow on normal end before that I saw. So maybe a bit of Mirana jitters this time around here for Chola. He's able to then freely snipe the catapult.
He's about to die potentially here in this mid lane, taking a lot of damage from the Arcane Curse, but won't actually survive here. Let's see, 15 HP, he's trying to salve up here. Fluke, he lives. 16 health and he's up. But something interesting happened. He threw arrow, right? And it hit the Siege Dragon just as they'd used Fortification on it. And at the same time it happened, and it still killed the Siege Dragon. That was fairly strange. That was very bizarre.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same thing as Midas, right? Glyph doesn't protect against the insta kills, so
yeah, that is
you can like hook it and arrow it, and it'll get insta killed.
Mid lane, they are gonna be putting some pressure out onto Y. At the same time, Normal End ends up killing off the Alchemist on the other side of the map. Han at least gets some revenge middle onto Silencer, but he might die for this himself. Echoes came on top of it, but now Echoes, he might be too far forward. Sheep sadly only has 2 points into the Shadow Poison. Not enough to hurt back this Void Spirit. But what happened to Alchemist? Dong got picked off. That's his 2nd death of the game so far.
I don't know. They didn't even RP him. Is it just concussive shot into like a skewer? I think it is.
Mate. They're gonna skewer him back again. RP now committed. Oh no, Dong, he just respawned.
Oh.
Dong is dead now. Tier 1 Tower's gonna follow him into the grave. Echoes manages to protect Y in the mid lane. Doesn't get scouted out by this Ember, but Sleight of Fist can get the finish off. However, all of this pales into comparison with losing not just the Alchemist's life, but now his entire lane is forfeit as well.
Yeah, Shining is absolutely demolishing this lane. He's level 7, and Dong is level 4. He's just about to tick to level 5, so it's only 2 levels, but Dong has phase boots and is, just trying to get to a Bassi, let alone any other of these big items. So Dong, once again, he's going to have to spend his time in the old farming pits. For him to stay away.
Oh my god, Echoes actually came close to dying. If that was a bottom rune and he didn't have that additional bottle charge, he might have died. And they might still go on to him. Sheep nearby, he Astral steps forward. Echoes! This is some madman Dota coming in here. He thought Normal End could be good enough to help him, but that's a bit too much to ask for. By some miracle, though, he is still alive, Luke. Hasn't been punished for this maneuver just yet. Shola didn't connect with the arrow onto anybody. Normal End almost dies. 5 HP after the Sleight of Fist. Han really wants it. The second slide should get the kill. That one succeeds. Killing spree for Han. Echoes is allowed to retreat back home. Very surprised that the Void Spirit didn't die as well in that river.
It's a very spicy mid lane. It seems like both of these two mid laners are really kind of dancing with death a lot of the time. But eventuating in Han getting himself an extra kill, having a much better game this time around on the Ember Spirit than what he did on the Puck in the previous. So is now looking towards trying to put his own impact on the game. I think Han really has to kind of be the player for them that does that. Starts early on. If he's able to get like a quick maelstrom into a BKB, he can really try to alleviate a bit of their pressure. But they want to try and get the kill here onto the Ember. They don't have global.
They do not indeed have the global. They did find Ancient Seal, but Sheep right there to throw in the disruption, so they don't have the option to find the kill. So there are several heroes that made their way towards this mid lane, unable to find anything. That being said, though, it's not like Supernova are applying much pressure on the sides themselves. In fact, they're about to lose Shen down bottom. He gets spanned onto by this Juggernaut. He's forced to drop a Ravage to survive, and that keeps him up, yes, but now we don't have a Ravage. Gonna have to go back to the base to heal up.
Shining almost got a solo kill onto Dong as well. So that was a little spicy.
He's dead now, though.
Shining.
2 heroes stunned up with the Searing Chains. They bring in everybody here. He does find a very nice RP, but before he can skewer away, Sheep is there with the disruption. The skewer will sadly carry the Alchemist with him, and Han just finishes him off. I mean, you do die, you do pick up the life of this Magnus, but it did require 4 heroes to accomplish.
And they lose their tide. So again, both of these offlaners losing their life at very, very similar times. I think that was much better for Supernova though, just because they got a lot more gold out of it, right? Like they got a little bit more gold on the Han, killing such a high net worth hero in Shining. So it doesn't alleviate a bit of their own pressure.
They're gonna try and pick off Y. They'll succeed in doing so, but Han now silenced up. He needs some help. Sheep there with the disruption. That's gonna keep him alive. We'll see if Han wants to reach for more. Searing Chains back online, but with Shining also being close in the mix, they realize what a difficult kill that would be. As they back off though, the entire time, Erica's just been casually forcing through this tier 1 tower bottom. He is building Battle Fury for this game, given that he hasn't even seen the Magnus, so no access to the Empower just yet.
Yeah, I think it's, as I said, just an easier build to go, right? Like, you just build Battle Fury, you just kind of play your own game, and then just Empower just adds on top of it. So if you ever get, like, a multi-hero RP with you being empowered plus Battle Fury, like, you will just clip everybody to pieces. So it'll feel a lot nicer. Both these teams right now, probably not too worried about how this game is going so far. I think Chen's have a pretty decent start here on the Tidehunter. He's going to be building it towards a Lotus Orb as his first item, so wanting to try and play against the Omni Slash a little bit more. Also keep his buddies alive outside of the Global Silence.
We're gonna have a Lotus on him. I don't know when Shadow Demon's gonna start building his own Lotus, but I imagine he will at some point as well. So then we'll have options against this Global. The mid lane Echoes might be in some danger here. Arrow's actually going to connect into him, but it's not the highest duration, so should still be able to jump onto the high ground. Whilst this is happening, we do have the Silencer and the Magnus smoking up for the first time in this game. Shining doesn't have access to a Blink Dagger, but they do have access to the Global Silence, and they would like to trigger it for the first time in this game.
Yeah, they really want to kill Han, but seems like he's sniffed it out for now.
Has Erica sniffed this out?
Of this.
Erica might be in trouble, but in the mid lane, who's even in more trouble is Sheep. Definitely gonna end up dead here. Skewer forward, he's underneath the tier 2 tower. Arrow from Shola doesn't connect defensively, but they do draw in some dire heroes to potentially defend this. Han is here with the DD. Shining gets ravaged, actually. Shen happy to commit the spell there. He found 2. Why was the other one caught inside the spell? So he might be brought down here. Gush to slow him down. Han try to catch up. Doesn't manage to find the Searing Chains though onto Y. Only connects onto the Juggernaut. He's still running forward though into a Sentry Ward. There's Global Silence committed by the Silencer. And they punish Han super hard. Fluke, what the hell was that? Why did it go up the high ground there?
I mean, it felt like he was invulnerable inside of the Moonlight Shadow, but Y was able to just sniff it out, have the Sentry Ward down there, and I I thought after him, maybe he didn't see the healing ward. I thought that he definitely would have been able to pay attention to the fact that Erica was around because he did slide a fist here and chains him. So, yeah, that was a little greedy there from Han. And he definitely got punished for it. They did get another big kill onto Shining, who is the second highest net worth hero in the game. But losing Han off the back of that is never what you want to see. And you can see that it has changed his ideas and how he wants to build. He has to go for the Manta style early on here on the Ember Spirit.
We need some kind of way to play around this global silence. They also lost the tier 1 tower off the back of that move. So more map space for the side of Lost Dog. But they're primarily concerned with just maintaining control of their own side lanes. Battle Fury is about to arrive right now from the Juggernaut. So his farm speed is about to drastically skyrocket for a hero that's already net worth leader in the game. And sadly, this Alchemist, his counterpart, bro, we still don't have Radiance right now for Dong.
Ooh, that's rough. He's going from MVP performance right now to somebody who needs a lifeline. So we'll see how long it's going to take him to get this Radiance going. They do have Lotus Orb now on Chen, so they've at least got some of their items coming up for them, but they definitely need a little bit more space for the Alchemist to get into this game. One thing I will say about Alk is it feels like as of late he really hasn't become this like early timing hero that just abuses the fact that he gets 1 to 2 extra items. I think he has really come into his own to be a hero that can kind of fight on some even footing. So it's not the end of the world, but he is fighting into a Juggernaut with Empower as well as Omni Slash, which is very hard for the Alchemist to deal with.
Yep.
So they need to make sure that they are not losing too much map space for their Alchemist to keep going with just a Radiance.
Oh no. Top lane, Magnus got clipped. The arrow will be there. Bro, he is right now 115 gold away from the Blink Dagger, but after this death, a little bit further away. Great kill to pick up by the side of Supernova there. Keeps their jungle alive as well. And they pinged it. They know there's a ward here as well. If they can find the D ward, then it's even better. And they do. Yep, they know what's up.
Yeah, just getting control back once again of their side part of their top lane. I don't even really know what people call the outer edge of this corner. Like the outer lane, I guess would be a cool name for it. I don't know.
I like that, the outer lane.
Yeah, I have to hit up some of the big brains in the scene and see what they think they want to call it.
Actually, that's... Yeah?
I mean, I enjoy the lore of, like, the Misty Mines and the Graveyard and all that kind of stuff, but come on, we need, like, a general term for the outer parts of the lanes.
That sounds like a Dota podcast. The outer lane.
All right, we're gonna put that one in the memory banks there, okay? And make sure that nobody in chat yoinks it.
Yo, any of you in chat, if you ever start a podcast called The Outer Lane, please expect a cease and desist letter from mine and Flick's lawyers. Thank you very much.
We will hunt you until the end of the earth. Think of us as Disney.
Mid lane. Ooh. Echo does his best performance of Disney, quickly assassinating Shola. No Morana available anymore with the Mystic Flare. But if I'm Supernova, you know how much I care about that? 0. I'm like, whatever, dude. It's okay. Fine. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, Chola is probably going to rack up 30 plus deaths over these 2 games because unfortunately for him, he's just not one of those heroes that's able to live too long, especially when you play into like Sky Mage plus Void Spirit. And ooh, they found Sheep as well. So this is where it starts getting a little more annoying for them because he is their saving support. So they have to be careful about not losing too many more of these heroes to this combination.
Bro, we need Lotuses ASAP. Like, I don't know. What was he building on the Shadow Demon? I think he was building Aether Lens. Dude, he needs Lotus. Like,
he was like Blink Aether.
Yeah,
he's switched his idea now. He's going Lotus now. So, it's the only way he lives, only way he's able to stay a little bit longer in these fights, and able to help his buddies out as well. Dong has been found out. He's going to go to the BKB, so it seems like Supernova understand that they want to try and fight early on here with their Alchemist. Blink BKB is going to be a very scary timing for them to play around with, especially with their Tidehunter who, okay, is building his own Blink. So they want to have double Blinks to combine with their Ember Spirit for some of these kills, but Han, he's on struggle street right now. He's not even close to his Manta.
Oh, he's not. And there's an RP onto 2. They find Alchemist and the Tidehunter. Tidehunter had a Lotus, but he couldn't use it to dispel the global. Now he's in some danger here. Arrow at least connects onto Echo, but that's unlikely to save Shen's life. Erica chasing. Sheep throws in the disruption, and Shen is still alive for now. Arcane Curse will be there, but looks like he's gonna live. The Aether Remnant doesn't connect either. They do lose the Alchemist, though. Pretty big pickup. At the same time, it was an expensive pick. They popped Global, they popped RP, they popped Mystic Flare, they popped GG Slash. Everything was utilized, and honestly, if Sheep was nearby, maybe Sheep could have saved him. If he was able to get off the Lotus, if they didn't get the RP onto Tidehunter, I'm not 100% sure Alchemist would have died there.
Yeah, that could have been a quick turn for them, but you can kind of see the damage that they have when these saving spells aren't being able to be used for Supernova, right? So they have to be very, very careful about how they take these next couple of fights, especially with an Alchemist. They need to make sure that they keep him alive, because if he's not alive, then a lot of the damage really goes out the window. It is basically just going to be Han that does damage for them, and he's really just, for a while, just going to be a sleight of fist machine.
Yeah. He's trying to build himself into that Manta style still. And then a Maelstrom, but not there just yet. Almost there with the Manta. Mid lane, we're going to have an arrow combo going out onto Echo. Not sure they have the damage for this though. As Erica also shows himself here. They actually ensure that Chen can't TP out, so they will kill off the Tidehunter. Not before he drops a Ravage though. Echoes is so low, but where was the follow-up? He finally does die. Dong finds a 3-hero stun though with the unstable concoction. And now this Alchemist putting damage onto Erica. He doesn't have a GG Slash, he doesn't have a spin. So now he doesn't have a life. Dong now channeling another stun to throw towards Shining, who's at least able to kill off the Mirana. But as he does, he will die towards the Alchemist. It's a full 5-hero team wipe. Han and Dong the only survivors. And my goodness, what a turnaround from Supernova.
Yeah, that's big on them once again, and this is exactly what I talked about, right? If Dong as well as Han are two heroes that are able to get their fights going and continue to use their spells, then these fights look pretty good here for Supernova. That was without both Global, RP, and the Omni Slash, so that could have been a lot more rough for Supernova. You can already see how powerful Shining is with the Magnus right now, and this is the reason why this hero is extremely strong. So I thought this was going to be a much worse fight, right? Like if they're able to quickly get that kill there onto Shen, then maybe we would have seen a completely different fight for them. But the fact that they kind of traded two calls straight away meant that this fight was going to naturally go the way of Supernova with their Alchemist as well as their Ember Spirit freely having a good fight to go. To be fair, Han did have a shield rune that almost lost no HP on it, so that was always going to be a rough fight for the last Dark to go into. Shoulder again! Oh, I thought Sheep was going to die to the Tormentor too.
That's actually a big deal. Him being dead means that Sheep also has to go home to replenish HP. Nobody's around to scout out this Roshan. So they are going to be able to take it. I suppose this is also what happens when Ravage is down. They feel they can fight better. When we have all our team fight ultimates, they don't have any of theirs. We do sometimes see this in these games, right? When one lineup has an overabundance of these massive spells, as soon as they're down, teams have been known to even smoke into them, despite whatever other advantages they have, just to try and exploit the lack of timings available.
Oh, they could try and kill Han here. Everybody's ready, they have RP.
RP is there. They have the damage coming out. Does he get out? He does have a safety remnant. What a boss! Boss Han. And he does the right thing. You know why he's keeping out like this? He's scared. Scarlet spells can still follow you past the slides away. So he knows what's up. He's going to get back to safety, wasting a lot of time and an RP in the process.
I would love to see how much HP he actually had. Because I was watching the jug. I was watching to see if he was actually able to get those kills. So,
yeah.
Oofed.
Well, Jug now doesn't have access to the GG Slash, so he needs to be careful roaming through the river like this. And if Shen had a Blink Dagger, that would have been a Blink Ravage opportunity. And they're going to smoke up right now. They're like, hey, there's no GG Slash, there's no Mystic Flare, there's no RP. Guess what? There's time to fight, though. Normal End will break the smoke from the high ground. What a boss, actually. Arrow won't connect either. Shola a little bit too slow there with the sentry timing.
Yeah. So that was a nice little play. We see the replay coming in here. So RP, extra bit of damage, 80 HP, as you said, right? So 80, 90 HP. So, whew. That was, yeah, that's crazy. Maybe like an extra Blade Dance crit. Maybe, you know, if they had add that extra bit of damage. I think he was RP'd for a decent while before he got Omni Slash, so that was definitely a kill that went begging for the last arc, but then Supernova did a really good job at trying to abuse that, but they haven't been able to get much out of it just yet. Full Deso coming in for Han as well. I don't hate it, but he definitely has to be careful about playing his life away in these fights. I think if he just goes like Aghanim Scepter with like a BKB, it's going to be very hard for them to kill him in these fights. You get directly on top of the Silencer, maybe force an early global. Means the arc can go on to different heroes.
What do you think it is about this Deso? The only thing I couldn't think is maybe this is a way to deal with Jug. Because now Jug, between Deso as well as Alchemist Acid Spray, you really have very little armor available. And normally Jug plays around having more armor than HP in these fights for survivability. Mid lane,
it also means
you do
the
see
supports
them
are
trying
very
to jump
struggling.
Ember Spirit. They know he's already popped his Manta style, so this Global Silence should kill him. This time around, it does end up doing so. Surprising that with Jug, they can't kill him. Without Jug, they can.
Yep, there's a very weird paradox that's going on right now, but either way, they will take that kill. They will gladly get rid of that and get themselves a nice little Ancient stack to boot as well. So I like that Erica's gone this early Aghanim Scepter. I think it's been one of the items that a lot of these Juggernauts have not been getting early enough. Just because it feels like in a lot of these games that Omni Slash is kind of the, I don't want to say the end all and be all of Juggernaut, but it is the, it's like 60% of your kit is like Omni Slash. And having the Swift Slash just means that you can get yourself positioned or just be able to finish people off where you're not able to really chase them down. You don't want to put yourself under that question mark cloud of potentially being like stunned or silenced or what have you. So it just allows you to get some of those extra kills. And I mean, stats are always good on a Jugger as well.
They are indeed. He's going to be playing the north side of the map, while the rest of Supernova is smoking in to the southeast, where the rest of his team is situated right now. So far, the only one that might be in danger is Y. But the Silencer does TP out. They had an observer with that scouted vision of both Echo as well as Normal End, but they were just a little bit too far away to catch up. But they're still going for it. After the Moonlight Shadow, they pop a smoke now as well. They are insistent on finding something here. Sadly, they will find nothing. Y. Yet again frustrates their attempts by breaking the smoke with his body. Last time he was allowed to live. This time there's no way. But still, well worth it to get the degree of information he has now provided to his lineup.
Yep. He breaks the smoke. Usually you see like Enchantress and stuff do that. So it means now that Erica can keep farming towards the top side of the map, especially with only 10 seconds left to go on this Aegis. Means that he now is a little freer to play the game around. Is there any big items that are coming up? So Shining has BKB, so that's pretty massive for him. He's not going any of these aura builds, so I've been seeing that from some of the Magnuses coming out in the last couple of days, has been them going like Crimson, Guardian Greaves, and then just go like a very much centric around like RP and reposition people. So I like that Shining has not really gone for a hybrid of that, but still stuck with like Blink Harpoon, which I think does a lot of work purely for the repositioning tools, not so much about like, I need to deal damage. It's more about getting people in bad situations. So I like that build from him. Normal End.
Looking for Normal End. They have Dust. Normal End.
There's a shield rune.
They should end up dead here. Arrow will connect coming in from Shola. Shining could have thought about a multi-hero RP with a Juggernaut next to him, but they do decide against it. Shen is here with the Ravage. Shen blinking onto the high ground. Gets a gust out onto Shining, who does fall to the low ground, but he has a BKB, so should be fine. In fact, they have Blink RP. Han, be careful. There is Sheep right there, though. Manta Style does come out. Maybe a little bit too soon, but it does save his life.
Yeah, I think he caught a small glimpse of Sheep. That's why he didn't fully commit to the RP.
Bro. Click on Han. Click on Han. Click on Han. Click on Han. Scriff, please click on Han. I want you to see this itemization. This Ember Spirit, baby, I'm enjoying this so much. This is some nice old school stuff. Dataless Deso, baby. Let's go with the big crit numbers.
Okay. I also like that he's playing around Blink as well, because that's one big thing with Global Silence. It doesn't do any damage to you. So even if you're able to blink yourself into the trees, sometimes you can react fast enough to Global Silence that you may not have to just instantly use the Manta style. So Moonlight Shadow, they will be seen under this ward as well.
Yeah.
They're completely privy of this.
Can they get out of here? Searing Chains not thrown in just yet. There's the Blink Ravage. It catches onto 2. It's the Magnus and the Silencer. Shining. Pops BKB though. Trying to survive this fight. They've already managed to bring down Shola though. As Echo is able to jump the backlines. Global Silence will now finally emerge. But they haven't been able to combo this into anything. They're actually running away from these heroes. RP now finally thrown in. Goes in onto Alchemist. But he's still alive. Gets a 2-hero stun with the Unstable Concoction. Killing off Shining. GG Slash has been thrown in. But there's too many units here, Fluke. They stun him up, overlay their stuns a little bit because Disruption stops the Searing Chains, but they still should have the damage to kill him. He is down. It's a double kill for Dong. This Echoes of Void Spirit at least assassinates Sheep, but will pay for this most likely with his life. And doesn't have Astral Step, doesn't have Dissimulate, and now doesn't have any HP. Supernova. They get the fight. Lost Dog knew they were coming. They had the perfect vision, but it still goes against them in the fight.
Yeah, Shining getting caught kind of just sent them into overdrive. They needed to make sure that they got themselves regrouped back into a position that they're actually able to utilize their spells, and never were able to really hit a big RP target. It is hard for you to RP this Alchemist because he has so much HP. He's 3.7k HP. He's got a lot of regen. He's got 130 HPS, which is ridiculous to try and cut through. He's got a BKB. He's got a full wand. Like, your Juggernaut fully Omni-slashed him. Yes, it did bounce over to Chen a couple of times, but it's just not going to do enough damage. Jug doesn't have those damage items just yet. He doesn't have, like, MKB. He doesn't have Butterfly. He doesn't have, like, a Daedalus or a Deso himself to really be able to abuse the attack speed that you get outside of the, from the Omni-slash. So it's very hard for them to just solo RP an Alchemist. They really wanted to try and catch at Han, but he just was never close enough to the fight where Shining was happy to just solo RP him. And Supernova, they're playing really, really well today. And this is, we talked about this yesterday, right? Where Supernova are a team where we feel like that they can play at a very high level, but just sometimes they really don't. And this is a good showing for Supernova in this series that they can hang with the best.
They're one of these incredibly low floor but stupidly high ceiling squads.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, right? Team Astra not generally in the business of farming and signing duds into the organization. Arrow being thrown forward by this Marana, doesn't connect onto anybody. And actually, Han is all alone, too far forward from the rest of the squad. That had already triggered the Manta as well, so this gets killed and punished. Dong now trying to at least bring down Y. And there's a Ravage. It catches absolutely everybody. They bought back on the Ember Spirit, but he doesn't have a Remnant, so he's still running all the way to the fight. Silencer also buys back into this. Shining, getting jumped on there. There was a Lotus Orb to block the Swift Slash, but we still have Omni Slash if needed. Dong fighting into Erica during the spin, and look how low Erica is, forced into using the Omni Slash with the RP next to him as well. They should be at least able to kill one, and that one is going to be the support Shadow Demon. Shen also follows into the grave, but now here is this Alchemist trying to stun somebody. Only stuns himself though. Nice jukes from Erica to avoid the Unstable Concoction. He's trying to TP out. Mystic Flare will be there, but it's not enough damage. He's out on the Alchemist. They bought back on Shining as well for this fight. And ultimately, Lost Dog expend the necessary resources and get themselves a team fight success right outside the Twin Gate.
Yep. When you're fighting either Radiant or Dire right near their outpost, it is next to impossible for you to try and win that. Han has one Remnant to play with, but he goes into it.
He's dead. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Ooh.
That's a dieback as well.
Yeah, that's... Oh, man, I don't know what is wrong with me, but I'm tainted. Every time I start to sing the praises of a team or a player or anything like that, something happens, whether it be instantaneously or a little bit later on. But that was a team fight for Supernova that they felt like they really should have won. The one shining light is the fact that Dong didn't die, but Han dying back is horrible for him. Completely stunts his item growth now, which is not good because this is starting to get to the territory of when you really start to see Juggernauts come into their own, right? Where they get these like 4 or 5 item spike. They're getting towards these late game scenarios where it's hard to kill them, but they also do a boatload of damage. So these fights are really starting to look dicey here for Supernova, and they're going to be kicking themselves if they throw this one away. There's still plenty of fights to go. There's still plenty of game of this second game to play, but they need to make sure that they're not doing that again.
Yeah. It's a bit of a problem that throughout that fight, in retrospect, you know, Dong, their most formed hero, the most powerful hero on the map, 1v1, spent most of that fight doing nothing. He stunned himself 3 times, Fluke, in that engagement. So he's not actually standing there 3 different times. Yeah, 3 different times. And one of them was during a 5-hero ravage. That's the big one for me. That should not be happening.
Maybe he really needs a Blink Dagger here. I think that's probably the next item that he should be going for is a Blink Dagger. Abyssal is nice, yes, but you need to make sure that you're getting positioned in these fights because, as you said, he is the scariest hero, full stop. And he needs to make sure that he's killing this Silencer, killing this Sky Mage as much as he possibly can in these team fights.
Yep. They've lost the tier 2 tower through the mid lane right now, and with this Aegis, lost Doc and the crew, trying to siege the tier 3 tower down bottom. It's already down to half HP. And they might as well take a Tormentor before leaving. I mean, yeah, you stole our Tormentor. See how it feels, boys. It's nice, huh?
Erica should be able to solo it here. He can always Swift Slash it if he feels like he gets a bit spooked, but he will be able to give the, what is it called? Seal of the Scion? Shield of the Scion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of bonus armor. Still a very low armor hero is Sky Mage, so I'm not sure if the bonus armor is even going to matter in these fights, but I mean, more survivability, always the better.
Ooh. Quick mechanics question here, Fluke. Is there a worse item shot than Shield of the Scion?
Yes, Mirana's one. That thing actually sucks.
It's pretty bad, actually.
It's horrible. It's so useful. They're like, guys, we added vector targeting. And it's like, it doesn't help. That was not the issue. The issue is it just sucks. Like,
you got me on that one. God, it's so bad. Oh.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to unleash a little bit of dust in front of me. Cool.
He doesn't have it right now. They're actually going to go onto this Mirana as well as going onto the Skywrath Mage. So both crap Arcanum shards are out of the game. Global Silence now used up, but they haven't actually dispelled this. Supernova just fighting straight through it. They're going onto Echoes potentially, forcing him away from the fight. Dong putting pressure onto this Juggernaut. Look at Jug take so much hurt. He needs to spin into win. Shining, waiting in the wings with an RP if necessary. Stun gets thrown out, and it doesn't stun the Magnus, but it does stun the Juggernaut. But he somehow still gets off his spells. Flying around with the GG Slash and the Swift Slash, he's still alive. However, the RP, as soon as it's down, that means it's time to go Ravage, baby. They get the Ravage, they get the kills, and now they're looking towards mopping up this fight. Han, he's back into the fray. They found a 10D stun onto Juggernaut. Swift Slash will be there. But unfortunately, Sheep is also here to give salvation with the disruption. They ensure that they get the kill. Han eventually does die, though. And as Dong realizes that, wait a second, this Juggernaut has a second life. Maybe not the best place for me to be. They might still want to fight, though, with Chemical Rage. Unstable Concoction is at the ready. It's being triggered. This Jug doesn't have a blink, but they don't want to chase him either. I'm kind of surprised Supernova decides to let him go. But in the grand scheme of things here, Fluke, they hold their base, they take another fight, they remove their Aegis, and they do not lose any set of racks.
Not the worst, yeah, not the worst kind of fight. I like that they went for this kind of wraparound fight that they wanted to try and go for. The gold was really even, the experience is really even. There's literally only like, what, 100 gold between them. There's only about like 20 experience that changes in between them as well. So an extremely even set of fights going their way. But it was a buyback on Echo as well as Sheep. So definitely a lot more of an expensive buyback going the way of the last arc with Echo buying back into that fight, but you can see that Jug's starting to get to this point that he's really scary, but he still can't deal with Alchemist. That is the big issue that they're having is even when they're getting multi-hero RPs, they just don't have the damage to kill an Alchemist just yet.
Yep. Juggernaut, speaking of him though, he's gonna find himself getting disrupted. He does have Sanjin Yasha, so the status resist keeps him alive. Alchemist was chasing, and I agree with you, Fluke. The lack of Blink Dagger from this hero is proving to be problematic. He did opt to go for a Bloodthorn, though. And you know what's interesting?
Ooh.
Juggernaut doesn't have a Mancer himself. So if he gets silenced, he's actually 100% dead.
Very true.
And let's see what they get out of this. Dire Scan did land flush onto this Juggernaut. They don't find him, though. They come across some illusions instead. Shout out to Echo for saving the game.
They were smoked. Like, Dong, you should have known. Your smoke didn't pop. But either way, they at least now know that there is a Bloodthorn if they were paying attention to it anyways. But they avoid the smoke, and it looks like they may be smoking for themselves. Or maybe they just want to try and play around the small bit of vision they have here on the high ground. Full Daedalus is being complete now for Echo. What does Shining have? Shining's items have really been stunted over these last couple of fights. Han at least now has the Chrysalis available, so he's got a little bit of extra damage. He's getting close to that Daedalus. Looks like Shard is going to be coming up for Dong. I'm not sure if... Maybe you want to try and get rid of the Radiance for like your Blink. You have a lot of attack speed. Yes, the Radiance is very good for you for farming-wise, but I think Dong really just needs a Blink Dagger to try and just catch some of these people off guard. But it's the only real item that maybe these teams are missing.
I mean, maybe he's uber reliant on Sheep and Shen to find the disables for him. I do agree with you that I would love Blink, but I'm also struggling to see what you replace. He needs BKB for these fights. The AC has been instrumental. Definitely doesn't want to be playing without the heart either. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think, to his credit as well, I think he doesn't have to worry about ever being kited around because people are generally going to be in his face. Like, he's going to get RP'd. He's going to have people running towards him. But it's about getting that instant initiation.
Ooh, speaking of initiation, Shining almost found a Harpoon Skewer onto the Mirana, but she was able to leap away. They don't actually have a gem on the Radiant lineup, so they're relying very much on these sentries to give them vision of this Moonlight Shadow. But so far, it has been working. And we see the Supernova lineup with Moonlight Shadow elapsed. They decide to smoke again. Dire Scan will connect flush yet again. The question is, how do they find these heroes? There's an Observer Ward that will now see both Erica and Shining approaching the
illusion bait.
The illusion bait. Will it work this time for them? Yes, it will! The slash came out, but Erica also fast enough to get off the spin. So he will not be stunned up or stalled out by this Bloodthorn. Now what? What's going to happen next? Both teams know where the other are. And we'll see how much longer they want to spend in this area, especially with Roshan about to respawn potentially in 10 seconds.
DD is top as well. Both these teams would love to be able to get their legs going and try and get that DD room. But as you said, only a few seconds until Roche is potentially at 40 seconds. Oh, it's a fast respawn.
Okay.
So Disillusion won't be able to see it here from Echo. So he won't know that it's going to be up in 40 seconds. And Han's doing a beautiful job. This is kind of the power of the Ember Spirit. He's able to push out top and nobody's able to respond to him.
Yep. There's a BKB on Nova. And unlike last game, he has a Remnant down so he can come back immediately on Ember. Last time he was just kept out of the fight as Puck. But he's not coming back, Fluke. He's sticking around top. He forces them to Cliff. He's going to just keep this side lane map pressure going. Make them decide, are you sticking around Roche or are you losing a tier 3? And they might actually just lose the tier 3 heads up. Nobody's coming home.
He's got a Deso, so he does a lot of damage, right? And yeah, I mean, Roche just spawns now, so that was basically at no risk of them losing Roshan, and he is doing such a good job. Who's going to respond to him? That's the thing. Is he going to take a whole lane of racks? You can't kill Roshan and respond to him in time.
Yeah. Echoes is coming over,
He's going to get a full lane.
Yeah. Range rack's already gone. Melee getting taken into right now. Echoes does a lot of damage with the Astral Step, so forces the Ember away. But now it's 4v4, and Ember, he goes to pick up the double damage rune. That's the big one. Well, how do they approach this fight? Erica was in the Roshan pit so long. There's a Swift Slash blocked off by the Lotus Orb. Skewer back, misses anybody but Dong. And Dong is not the target you want. He goes Chemical Rage, takes away Shining's half HP. Sheep will be there, ensuring he stays alive for now. Shining gets a 4-hero Ravage, stunning everybody up. They kill the Shining Magnus. The Juggernaut is next. Echoes jumping into the fray to at least be able to kill off somebody, but nobody will be presenting themselves for death. They're all A-OK. We see that Han has finally made his way back into the team fight, and he arrives just in time to mop up the silencer. They've taken the range racks up on top, and now they're about to get the Roshan with an Aghanim Scepter as well, Flu.
Yeah, this is Very dire straits for the Last Ark fans in chat. Reminder, they lost game number 1 as well. This could be a 2-0 for Supernova. They've got, what, an Ags now? Oh, it's going into Sheep. Oh, dude, if you're a Shadow Demon player, you are absolutely loving life. This is rough. It's 20k net worth now. You saw the issues they had trying to kill Dong. Yeah, he's at the point where he's completely maxed out, but him being completely maxed out still means that you don't have enough damage to kill him, and this is why both of us were kind of grimacing at this Juggernaut pick. Wasn't 100% sure whether or not it was going to be enough for them to win this game, and it seems like right now it definitely is not.
Yeah. Oh boy, Jug struggling to make an impact in these fights, and what kind of sucks is that with all these Lotus Orbs being available, flying around, his flashes, he almost has to Swift Slash first. Like, imagine if he didn't buy the Aghanim Scepter, how hard this game would be. So, very lucky for him that he did buy it, but nonetheless, there's some issues they have to deal with. Han earlier on was able to take a range Rax all by his lonesome, but now that Supernova has the whole crew, they've gotten a lane of Rax, melee down through middle, skewer back interrupted, so Dong still very much alive.
Oh.
At the same time, Han, look at those damage numbers with these Sleight of Fists. Able to solo kill the Skywrath Mage and force him to buy back here. And while that's happening, Dong just mops up the melee top. The rest of his team just skirts out of the base. Bro, Supernova are blowing up right now in this game too.
Oh, please go have a look at what Han has queued up right now. Oh, I want to see everybody respond like I did. Divine Rapier is on the way. Enchanted Quiver as well. Yeah, look at the damage numbers this guy is pulling out. Han, I respect a player that is able to come back from a game, from a game 1 like that, where he really did not have that great of a game on the park. I think he kind of got demolished pretty hard, but now he's coming back and making this game his own.
Let's see what they can do about this Alchemist. They skewered him back into the base. They aren't able to kill him off, but they do remove the young Shadow Demon from play. Shining will be able to still play on the edges of the fight. Ravage has already been expended. It didn't stun anybody up. And now Dong, he just wants to fight 1v1 with this Juggernaut. But there's the RP with the ultimate coming from the Jug. More than enough damage to kill Han and also take away the first life of this Alchemist. The question is, can they do a second? There will be a pause. Somebody probably DC'd out, or there's some lag or something. Not that it matters though. Supernova, they've already lost this fight. The only option here is maybe Shen's second Ravage stuns more heroes. But I don't know about this. There is spin on Juggernauts in just a second. Shining still has BKB. Echoes, I don't think will die anyway. So I think they might have just held the base here.
It seems Sheep potentially could be lagging, who is a pretty big part of their fights. But as you said, there's only a few avenues that they can really take here. Guess maybe they kind of just have to Ravage and go. I mean, Jug's just going to get spin-off cooldown by the time it gets close to him. As you said, Shining with BKB. So maybe they can hope that their Alchemist lives through this. He doesn't have the small potion, doesn't have the Chemical Rage either. Only a few seconds till his BKB comes up.
Ravage still actually stuns up onto Erica. So Dong is going to TP out. Looks like they're going to leave Shen inside the base. Oh, somebody had to be sacrificed. Erica gets a double off of it. And we finally get to see the combo. Big RP into a big Omni Slash and a Swift Slash at the same time. That enabled the Juggernaut to deal almost 10,000 damage in that fight.
Yeah, the thing is, like, when I'm saying he doesn't have enough damage, he does a lot of damage in a normal game. But you're playing into an Alchemist and a Tide Hunter, two very, very tanky heroes. So you kind of need to get a lot of this extra damage just coming into your game, right? You just need to be doing an overwhelming amount of physical damage to be able to take them down. And that was just enough for them to be able to get it. I think they really did a good job at just abusing the small little windows that Supernova did give them. Obviously, that was a fight that felt like Sheep wasn't really a good part of, because I think Echoes kind of just put him on the back burner, right? Like got in front of his face for a little bit and forced the Shadow Demon to play further back and try and save himself rather than saving his big cores, who were very, very deep in the Radiant side of the base. So that's one good fight for the Last Ark. They need a couple more of them though. They need to make sure that they're constantly getting these fights going, and we're starting to get into the type of the game where buybacks are more important than what items are, right? So that's going to be all important for these teams to start tracking.
Only 4 buybacks available right now. Only one of them sitting on the Radiant lineup. So Supernova, if they're aware of this, they could maybe play in a bit more daring of a fashion. That being said, though, when you're in such an advantageous position, maybe you don't want to take too many risks. I mean, they lost that fight, but they still have 2 lanes of racks up. We're still going to have these waves shoving in all the time. And we still only have them on the side of the Lost Dock being able to comfortably siege with the Juggernaut. So, for Supernova, bad fight to lose, but doesn't change the game state all that much just yet.
Yeah, it definitely, you can see that it just makes Supernova a little bit more scared to go out on the lanes, just because they know that they are mortal at this point. And usually when you lose a fight like that, the momentum does heavily swing back to the defending team. So they need to make sure that they don't lose faith in themselves just yet. They are still very far ahead when it comes to the network, 12k for themselves. Having a look at, actually, my Dota Plus apparently just ran out, so I can't even check the win percentage. So
it's 61-39. 61-39.
Okay, so it's not like it's completely one-sided for one of those two teams. So still on a bit of a knife's edge. We need to be very, very careful not to lose this game to more Juggernaut items, though. I think they need to make sure that they are starting to go out and be a little active.
By the way, does your win probability disappear if you don't have Dota Plus?
Well, yeah, because I can't press the button.
Oh, wow. Because I haven't bought Dota Plus in a while. It still works for me. Don't tell Valve. Okay. All right. Game's still in beta, I guess.
The button's not working. Hello? let me check to see if I didn't just screw up a hotkey and I'm just being a boomer again.
Oh, smoke up now from the side of Supernova. They feel pretty strong, but they did expend some of the money that they have. So they only have 2 buybacks that are remaining at the moment. Moonlight Shadow also triggered out right now. As usual, Shola's leading the charge. They don't care if he's the one that dies first. But it looks like they are aware on the Lost Dock of what's happening. Also, I must say, Supernova, their scans throughout the series have been top-notch. Like, most of their scans have connected. Even if they can't make the move happen, they're at least aware of where the enemy is.
I also realized that I was just being stupid, and I don't want to explain it to chat because everybody's going to laugh at me, so... we're just going to say, yep, good job, Fluke, well done. Smile, thumbs up. So there's actually 3 hotkeys for the same thing, because it's obviously an old thing that Valve has brought out. So you can bring up the experience, you can bring up the net worth, and you can also bring up the win rate, which is 3 separate hotkeys. But they're all the same graph.
All the exact same graph. I don't know why it took us so many years to institute that. Why did we have separate graphs to begin with, honestly?
Oh, well, it's something that we get to live by now, and a lot of these Dota Zoomers, I know there's like 5 of you that are like floating around, haven't had to experience the old dark days of spectating Dota.
Oof. There actually might be people in chat that have never even seen a side shop or have to buy an individual courier.
Some of them might not have seen the in-game stat pop-ups as well.
Oh,
those things were my favorite. I love doing those things for old school like Australian Dota tournaments and stuff. Like Knoxville's obviously the OG. Like that stuff was cool as. Yeah. I love that. It's still in the game, but nobody uses it.
We have the technology. Script, brother. You're not gonna hook us up, my G. You know, give us a blast from the plus for the homie Fluke. Find a nice young stat to bring us.
Just throw a random one in there. Doesn't even have to be good. Someone.
I'll get the stat for you. It'll be like Fluke handsomest caster from Australia.
Ah, from Australia. Okay, I'll take that caveat. I was going to say there are some very handsome people that float around the Dota scene.
Yo, there's some... we work with some hotties, bro. Real talk. Yeah. There are some blisteringly hot people in this community.
This could be the fight, though, Snare. You have to be careful.
They've eroded a lot of the gold lead. Tendies do find the Juggernaut, but he does avoid the stun. There is a Swift Blink right now from the Alchemist, who eventually did go back for the itemization, but he was unable to catch out this Jug. Wait, what did he sell for this, for the Swift Blink?
Sanjin Yasha.
SNY, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy about this is that there's pretty much no more gold lead in this game. Alchemist is completely topped out. Juggernaut is about to be topped out once he finishes this MKB, maybe getting a moonshot. So now it's all about execution. The gold, not going to make that much more of a difference. And they're trying to reach forward right now on the last dock. They see this Alchemist, but he's not a very nice target. They get a very preemptive disruption, but there's a Ravage onto absolutely everybody. Arrow also connects onto Silencer, so they can't follow this up with the Global. Tendies will be there onto YYYY as well. And somehow, some way, the one hero they chain disable is the one that they needed. No Global means there's no fight for the Radiant, and now they have to go home and defend the base.
Yeah, Han almost got himself a tier 4 tower out of that. He at least forced the glyphs. They know that there's 6 minutes without that. Nova, they're really starting to push the buttons. And they're going to get themselves a Roche as well. Another Aghanim Scepter. I mean, Tidehunter Ags is going to be juicy. Maybe you give it to Mirana if you're feeling a little charitable. But definitely right now you're looking at Chen saying, you're going to get this Aghanim Scepter. We're going to start moving into this base. Actually, probably give it to Han. I didn't realize that Han doesn't have Ags just yet.
Yeah. I think you give it to Han. Maybe Han should also take the cheese as well. I'd give him the cheese and the Ags. Give the Alchemist the Aegis. And that is indeed what they are going to do. They actually give Shen the cheese. Tidehunter, really? I don't expect this hero to be dying in these fights, but still, okay.
Han probably feels pretty unkillable, to be perfectly honest. Like, he probably feels very confident in himself. Double-sided fist charges. He has the Mantis Style and the Blink Dagger and the BKB, especially with the Stormcrafter too, so probably feels pretty happy with... Actually, Stormcrafter doesn't do anything anymore, disregard, but he probably feels pretty happy with the defensive items that he has, whereas the Tidehunter, if you're soaking up a lot of these spells, like say you soak like a Swift Slash, maybe you soak like a few spells coming in from the Void Spirit and you cheese back up the full, then it kind of feels like it's a little bit of a wasted time for the last arc. Whereas if they're killing Ember Spirit, I'm pretty sure the 100 is zeroing him during a stun duration.
Also, I wouldn't say Stormcrafter does nothing, bro. It gives you 35 movement speed. For an Ember Spirit, this, I mean, given how he's been playing this game as a Rat Ember Spirit, honestly, I think this is kind of legit. Can work out for him.
Lets him keep pushing lanes as well, just like freely. Sometimes, like when you're sleight of fisting, you don't kill everything, but it allows him to maybe get that little bit of extra damage to get the kill.
Yeah. Well, they have to deal with an Aegis now, another Ags, the last dock. Unfortunately for them, as we mentioned, they are close to being completely maxed out. Juggernaut will finish a Swift Blink, maybe can buy a Rapier, but I don't expect much more progression. Look at Han. Dude, he can... Okay, I see what you mean now. He definitely is feeling himself if he's pulling off these kind of plays.
Yeah. I think it's just gotten to this point of the game where you're feeling like that you're going to be able to take this game by the throat, and you kind of want to just push it as far as you possibly can. Like, look what he's doing.
He's trying to solo kill the Silencer, forcing a reaction, going back to his crew. And the thing is, because he has Ags, this costs him nothing, right? The only thing that costs him is Manta procs, and that'll come back not too long from now anyway.
He can do this every time that he has Manta Style up, right? Like, if he ever gets caught out and Manta Style is a little bit too early, getting away from one of the silencers, maybe one of the stuns, then he can always BKB to get away from the global silence, but he has to make sure he doesn't overstep his bounds. All it takes is one little slip up from Han, and he is very dead if he gets caught by maybe a silencer or a stun. And with the way that he's playing, Sheep's going to be, like, nowhere in the vicinity to be able to save him.
Yeah. I mean, look at this Han, dude. What a player. But he's leveraging the damage from this Daedalus as well as this Desolator. And it's proving to be very effective here. Arrow connects onto YYYY, but jumping him is not so easy. They are doing the definition of slow siege here, Fluke. Literally putting in 60 damage per Manta proc from this Alchemist. At this rate, let's see, how long would it take them to actually get this tower?
A long time.
They would only have to do this 22 more times. That's not so bad.
That's fine, guys. Everybody in chat, you guys want to sit back and watch, you know, Supernova just try and get this tower with purely disruption illusions? That's going to be cool, right? Right, guys? They did a little more damage that time. They did almost 200 with those illusions, so...
He's actually just jumping up. Dong's tired of this. Okay, Lotus Orb will tank some of the hits. He is so lucky on Erica that Shining wasn't ready to just jump him with Ravage. If he was ready there, he'd actually be dead at the moment. Han finding some stuns onto Shining, keeping him away from being able to get out the base. These illusions coming at you again. Oh my god. This right here is patient Dota from Supernova. This is a real siege, Fluke. You know, we talk about sieging the base. People forget that sieges are things that take weeks and months to accomplish. And now they skewer back onto Dong. Still has his Aegis though. Will eventually pop it. Coming back for life too are the Ravage, only stunning out onto one. It's the Silencer. RP coming in as well. They drag back the Alchemist as well as the Tidehunter. The second GG slash is on. They haven't killed Dong just yet. There's another RP, but somehow this Alchemist is still standing. Han with the BKB and mass amounts of damage on this Ember Spirit managed to solo kill Echo while all this was happening. And the tier 3 tower has also fallen. Buyback in on this Void Spirit. He's jumping onto Shola, really wanting the Mirana, able to pick him up. And now they want more. They get the skewer back onto Dong, bringing him into the base. This time he does not have an Aegis. He's gonna try and bring down the melee racks, but eventually Erica is able to kill him off. They're now diving outside of the base as well, looking towards these supports, but Sheep gets himself alive. He's able to blink away to safety. They put back on Silencer for this too. So 2 buybacks on Radiant side. It does enable them to keep the base going. They don't lose melee racks, but they did lose the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, probably not the worst defense from the last arc. Yes, they did have to pop 2 buybacks out of that, but they killed Alchemist twice. They're able to kill the Mirana as well. They dealt a decent amount of damage, just a small little 14k for the Juggernaut in that last fight. So they're definitely at a point now where they are starting to execute well enough to be able to kill high tier cores without having to spend too much for it. Yes, they did use double RP and all their BKBs and stuff, but there's no way you're going to be able to get a free kill like that without having to spend a little bit. So they did this all without Han having his Divine Rapier, which he has now picked up, and he has buyback in the plenty as well. So he got rid of his Deso for this, which I thought was probably not the play, but he wants to play with kind of just big procs from the Daedalus and really hope that he can kind of two-shot people.
Maybe he's feeling like he's going to get lucky on the neutral items, get some Stigi or something. If he gets that, then it's fine, right? That's not that
if he gets Stigi, then he's good. But I guess he doesn't want to get rid. He can't get rid of BKB. Doesn't want to get rid of Manta. And maybe I would have just backpacked the Boots of Travel. Like I probably wouldn't have sold my Deso. I would have just backpacked my Boots of Travel. But wanted to get the Rapier at some time, because if they ever have free time at hitting buildings, they will kill them really fast. Really fast.
He also has a backup Rapier, Radiant waiting in his courier. At the same time, there's another Rapier in this game, Fluke. Echo's picked one up as well. Off the back of that buyback and finding that fight down bottom, he realizes that honestly, he's actually the damage dealer. Juggernaut, yes, these GG slashes are nice, but the thing that's helping to tick these heroes over the edge are these massive shots of the Astral Step. So Echoes, with the 25 talent as well, about to hit 30, is a real menace in this game, honestly, for this Void Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see the damage that he does in those last couple of fights. Yes, it is all about the Juggernaut versus the Alchemist matchup, but I think also the 2 Spirit Brothers play a very integral part in the way these fights are going to go. If Ember Spirit gets a like a big Rapier crit, then some people may have to reset and go back to base, and it's very much the same thing with Echoes, right? Like if he just gets a massive amount of damage through multiple heroes with an Astral Step, then that is a very hard place for you to play. Tier 5 tokens are now up and available.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, they went double Stygian. I don't know if that was communicated well enough.
Yeah, I'm also not down with the double Stigi. I would have been down for a Stigi on Ember, but he got a Mirror Shield instead. In a way, actually, this might be better. So now you have Mirror Shield, because I understand the Deso hits, but him just not dying in the fight is also another source of damage, like consistent damage throughout the engagement.
Yes, second Rapier on the Courier too, which is all locked up for him.
Just waiting. All right, now they're going to wait for this next Roshan for Supernova before they try to go into the base once more. Last Dark.
What Sheep picking?
Can't really reave the base. The one thing that is nice, though, is that Shining did also pick up a Hex. So we have Hex, double RP from him. It's pretty good. If he's able to find like an RP like he found in the last defense, they could still hold this base for quite some time yet.
Yeah, it is kind of annoying now. These Hex would have been nicer before Han got the Mirror Shield. He would have definitely just been able to blink on him and they would have killed him twice easily. Or killed him 100 to full, but you can see the amount of damage that he does. He already procs an Aeon Disc onto normal end. Do they have all their tier 5s? No, it seems like they've only been able to get themselves 2 with double Stitch. What about the other tier 5s? I saw Sheep had a token. Sheep hasn't pressed it just yet. Please, Sheep, press it.
Do the right thing. They actually haven't pressed many of them on the Dire lineup right now. And here's a fight coming in towards them. They smoked up on Lost Dock. All 5 heroes are gathered here from both teams. This could be where the game state changes. Radiant side only has 2 buybacks right now, so maybe that's the reason why they decide to leave this area. If they had more buybacks, maybe. And also, they know what Han is going to try and do. They've become accustomed to his shenanigans on this Ember Spirit. Shining is going to try and catch him out, but Mirror Shield, baby. Like you said, would have been way better to get Hex before that tier 5 neutral item.
Yep, it's basically next to impossible for them to do it now. I think the only way they can do it is they have to proc it with, like... I mean, he's going to be able to, like, BKB or Manta out of anything else. Like, I just don't know how you're going to be able to proc it and catch him. Unless you have 2 hexes and you, like, insta-hex, right, is the only real way that you can catch out this Ember Spirit now. And they go Ex Machina on Chen for him to have double Lotus and double Guardian Greaves, which is always nice. And then Book of Shadows. Really good into the Juggernaut. If you're able to cop a few people with that. So that's going to be very, very important. Now, Y as well as Normal End have their own tokens. Maybe Shining is going to get one. So they're just passing them around to try and figure it out. So Aegis, Cheese, and Ags. So the Ags went the way of the Alchemist this time around. Unfortunate for him, he doesn't actually get the bonus because he hasn't given anybody anything yet.
I'm kind of surprised they gave it to him instead of Shen. Like, I feel like...
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Here he goes.
Maybe they
like,
want to...
The gush is pretty good.
Maybe they want to be able to use the Alchemist to get, like, the extra proc on his own Ags, right?
Okay.
Like, bonus damage per sep. Like, he gets 25 damage to give away an Ags. Like, he's eventually going to give them away to everybody if it gets, like, 90 minutes. But if he gives one away to the Tidehunter now, then he gets 25 damage as well as them being in the same spot as what they were.
That definitely makes sense. Moonshot has now been picked up by Dong as well. So he is pretty much capped. He's actually queued up a Divine Rapier right now for the end of the game. So his lineup could have 3 Rapiers purchased up. I mean, it would make sense. They have a 44,000 gold lead. And well, Fluke, the time has come, buddy. Back into the slow siege, baby. Who needs trebuchets? We have Disruption on Alchemist.
Yep, this is like the old Shadow Demon Luna combinations of old, right? Where you just kind of make illusions of your big hard carry, you throw them into a building, and you wait until the game ends. And doing a good job at dealing with the illusions now, but it's just at this point in the game where it's 64 minutes. Buybacks are super important, and making sure that you don't overextend and overuse certain things. So this game is going to be on a knife edge for a decent while, especially playing into another Aegis and Cheese.
Yep.
Erica lost his career, which had
a
half of his moonshot on.
Yeah. Pretty big problem there. I'm actually kind of surprised that they are not putting the Radiance on the Alchemist while they're doing this. Because if you do it without Radiance, then Juggernaut, it's super easy for him to kill these things without the mischance. Well, they've only actually managed to do 22 damage onto the Raindrax.
Hell yeah. Let's keep it up. I feel like he definitely could, as long as he lets Sheep know what he's doing, like, you know, you can just get like a demonic cleanse going in on him. He can blink up onto the high ground. You can just start whacking away at it. Just press the Chemical Rage. You're probably going to be able to deal maybe half damage to a range Rax before they even catch you. And then, yes, maybe you might get in trouble, but as long as Sheep is on the ball, Disruption can save you. X number 1.
RP coming in from Shining. This way they catch Han, but Lotus Orb was there as well with the Mirror Shield, so that protects him. He should be able to get out of here. RP will be able to catch Dong without him having that much luck. And eventually Han does die. Ravage is going to be there though, directly onto Juggernaut, as they brought back with Han as well. They send the secondary Ravage onto the 2 supports, killing them both. All 3 dead heroes though have brought back, and now Juggernaut wants to involve himself again in the fight. Going forward, they still have Echo ready with the Divine Rapier to throw in some additional damage, but Juggernaut, he's trying to spin right now. Demonic Purge is out onto him. As soon as the spin is over, he's in trouble, Fluke. Han jumps onto him, stuns him up, enables Dong and Chola to kill him. And that is a Juggernaut in the grave for 2 minutes, no buyback. Echo's doing his best, jumps the backlines, able to assassinate Shola at the very least. But now that they've taken the tier 4 tower, they've opened up the space to the Ancient. They just cannot do it anymore, and they throw in the towel. GG, well played is called. Han goes to get some bonus kills for good measure. And the game will end in favor of Supernova. They make the 2-0.